Alright, so we're getting close to time. We got the navigation lights on. The sun is setting somewhere back there. What a fun day of fishing. I came out at about 5:30 and every spot has produced a fish or two. Just kind of slowly working my way around the lake. And I even had a surprise where some bass were surfacing, and I put a Rapala skitter walk on and ended up catching some bass, and one pretty nice bass. You know, our standards are different depending on the lake that we're on, and this lake is 20 minutes away from where I live. I probably could have kept about 8 10 to 12 inch crappies if I wanted to. Nice to have a lake where you can catch some quality fish. Bunch of northerns. They were stealing my jigs all day. Only one sunfish, but there's some big sunfish in here too. So I'm going to fish as the sun goes down, and you can definitely be guaranteed you'll see it if I get anything big. July 1st, 2019. Another new lake this summer. There we go. What have we got? First fish of the day. Pulled like a ton of bricks, now it's coming with me. Haha. Jig wrecker. Hooked him just perfect. So he didn't wreck my jig. First fish. I thought, man, if that's a sunfish, that's a monster. It's just the big milfoil point that comes out here. It's always good up and down it and on the ends. The nice thing about this lake is when the weeds stop, it seems like there's no weeds, if that makes any sense. So if you can find the edge, you're doing good. There we go. There's a crappie. First crappie of the day. Not keeping any today, just kind of doing a scouting trip. I think I'm going to take my dad out here sometime. See where we can find some fish. There we go. Fish on. Ooh, fish off. Nice big splash with it too, darn it. Not another week of missing fish. I wonder what that was. It's kind of in the weedy kind of part. It's nice to be able to come out and get some action right away. It's always good to have a lake close to home that provides you with chances at a big fish, chances at fish for the freezer, and just action in general. There's a fish. Alright. Now if I were keeping, that'd be pretty darn close. I think he would be one to keep. That's about a 10-incher. Nice. Keep them coming. Action. Just by going slowly around this point. See if we can figure out a pattern or a depth or certain area they're in. There's another fish. What have we got? Crappie. Another nice one. Alright. They are getting bigger. Here we go. We're about 20 minutes in and we got 3 crappies in the northern end. I'm liking it. Now the only thing with this white jig, with the pink jig head, I'm not too confident I'm going to get a lot of sunfish on it. So my usual yellow is kind of good for everything. But I happen to have this one tied on from the Coon Rapids Dam last night. Hopefully you got a chance to watch my FisherMN Sunday drive. Kind of glad I had a different color on. You know, last year, for as good as the fishing was, I didn't do a very good job testing other colors. So this is a good test that the fish will bite white as well as the usual yellow. It's kind of funny, when my dad and I started fishing with these jigs, we used to always buy minnows and tip them with minnows. Now, I don't even tip them with minnows. If you buy gulp, they've got enough scent to them, I think. And even these power baits that I've kind of switched to lately seem to be just enough to get them to bite. I always have some gulp in the tackle box, and if fishing is slow, I'll put that on, and then sometimes that'll trigger the bite. There we go. Wow, that crappie almost pulled the rod out of my hand, and he's a little guy. Another one. Oop. Hooked him on the release. Just counts as one. Well, there we go. That is not a crappie. Alright. Another northern. Looks like we've got them hooked alright. Oh, we don't have them hooked alright. Mr. Northern said, hey, why don't you switch your jig color to yellow? Yes, sir, Mr. Northern. Okay, so white was a good color. Let's see how yellow and yellow does. So the thick weeds can be a pain, but they can also be a help. I know that where the weeds are sticking up, it's about 3 or 4 feet. And then another 10 to 15 feet in front of it is the 5 feet area. And then a little further out from that is where we've been getting them. So they're actually a pretty good marker. Well, there we go. Just a thump. Alright, another nice one. There we go, we could keep that guy. Good to see. I wasn't sure. I'm sure this lake gets fished pretty heavily with ice fishing and boat traffic because it's close to the Minneapolis metro area. But it's nice to see the crappies are still here. 6.8 feet. The water temperature is 75.9 degrees. A far cry from the Cloquet area last week. That was in the low 60s. There we go. Ooh, I don't think this is a crappie. If it is, it might be a state record. Oh, another jig stealer. Well, I mentioned in my Sunday drive at the Coon Rapids Dam, bring a few extra jigs along because you're going to lose some. Well, add that to this lake too. I think that's 2 we've lost already. We've got plenty, but hate to lose jigs into the water. I think we got enough room on this leader. So I you can look through my videos, but just in general, I explain the type of leader I use in some of my videos, but I use it because if you get a snag or something with the nanofill, sometimes it's a real pain to get unsnagged. So I get around that by using a 6-pound fluorocarbon leader, and that way if you need to break it off, you can break it off a little bit easier. Alright, action all around so far. There we go. What do we got? Oh, that's a big crappie. That is a nice one. Ooh, look at that guy. There we go. And another species in the boat. Alright. Chunky guy. There are nice fish on this lake. Back he goes. Was it the yellow? Could have been. Oh, shoot. There we go. Ooh. There we go. Another nice one. Definitely they are not stacked up, but as long as we keep moving and we get one here and one there, we're good. Something's chasing over there. A little feeding frenzy over here. Oh, there we go. Got in on the feeding frenzy. Not sure what we've got. It's probably a bass. Got a little bit of weight to it. Let's see what we got. It is. It's a chunky bass. There we go. Oof. Off in the net. That's pretty fun. You see them feeding and coming out of the water. If you throw your bait right in the mix, you might get a chance. That would not be a big frogfish, but on an ultralight, that's a fun fish to catch. Thank you, Mr. Bass. Well, let's take a break from panfish fishing. I got an idea. If they're chasing minnows, I've got just the thing. This guy isn't it. The old trusty skitter walk. And I think I'll put a smaller size on. Let's see if we can get some of these fish that are chasing bait fish. There we go. There's Mr. Bass. Just waiting for a minnow to swim by. Alright. That is some fun stuff. You see them, you target them, you catch them. So we'll watch out and see if we got any more chasing. And if we do, we know that this is a good option. Alright, having a hard time focusing on the panfish because I want to test and see if we got some bass working down this way. Now that we know they might take a topwater. So, let's go scratch that itch. There's a fish. Not sure how well he's hooked, but he's on. Water's so green you can't see them until they get away. Darn it. We'll call him a monster because he got off. There are definitely a few bass working around there. There we go. See if we can get him in. Man, they dig when they get by the boat and the weeds. That's a better one. There we go. Nice chunky guy. Just released another bass. Saw some chasing minnows, so put something that looks like a minnow on. It's a baby bass color skitter walk in I think it's 3.5 or 3-inch size. A little smaller than the one I usually use. There we go. They do not like my kayak. What you got? There's another one. I'm liking the chunkiness. There we go. He got a. He's off. That is pretty cool to be able to figure out what the bass want and catch 5 or 6 in pretty short order. Oh, there we go. Those guys did forget one over here. What did they forget? Oh my goodness. A nice crappie. Wow. Look at that guy. Nice and chunky. It's hard to show on video, but man, they got a little bit of heft to them. Yeah, I said heft. This is probably going to be one of those nights where I wish it wouldn't get dark. Fishing is so good. There we go. Crappie right up to the surface. Sliding in. We'll take it. A fish that gets himself off the hook. Thank you, sir. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're having some great nights like this on the water, and I hope to see you next week, somewhere on the water. Thanks for watching.